Actually, Ben Shapiro rips into Trump and Tucker Carlson as well.
Here was Don Jr. complaining about last night.
Right now, trying to ban people from actually having discourse about politics.
These guys are actually crying that they weren't allowed to do interviews after the debate when they didn't show up for the debate. How stupid can you be? If your candidate doesn't show up to the debate, you don't get to put your person in the spin.
但是你们说，
Inimitable. I mean, like that's it's. Apparently, Tucker Carlson aired this at the same time as the Republican debates.
It's debate night, but we're not in Milwaukee.
Why are you at the Fox News debate tonight in Milwaukee?
Well, you know, a lot of people have been asking me that, and many people said you shouldn't do them, but you see the polls have come out, and I'm leading by 50 and 60 points. And, you know, some of them are at 1 and 0 and 2. And I'm saying, do I sit there for an hour or 2 hours, whatever it's going to be, and get harassed by people that shouldn't even be running for president? Should I be doing that? And a network that isn't particularly friendly to me, frankly. You know, they were backing Ron DeSanctimonious like crazy, and now they've given up on him. I mean, it's a lost cause. But I just felt it would be more appropriate not to do the debate. I don't think it's right to do it. It doesn't make sense to do them. So I've taken a pass.
When you say there are people on stage who shouldn't be running for president, who do you mean?
Well, I don't want to really use names, but it wouldn't matter too much. A guy like, I call him Ada Hutchinson. It's Asa, but I call him Ada.
Why do you call him Ada?
You know, I could tell you, but I don't want to get myself in a little trouble.
Maybe American with Disabilities Act. He's calling him retarded, basically.
How does this guy get elected governor of Arkansas? But he's nasty always and has been. A guy like Chris Christie, a guy left with a 8%, think of it, 8% approval rating in New Jersey. Now he's running for president.
Maybe we could chat sometime. What do you want to chat about, my dude? Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, I had an interesting thing I wanted to discuss with you. Basically, how the election cycle, how the new president is going to influence the war in Ukraine. So there's a lot of people, basically, so I'm Ukrainian, right? And a lot of people basically say that whoever supports Ukraine is the best candidate, right? Like, it's very obvious where our allegiances are. So what do you think? Is a Republican, is a Democrat going to be better for Ukrainian sovereignty, I would say?
I have no idea. It super depends on the Republican. If you get like a super mega populist guy like Trump or Vivek, then we're probably going to slowly withdraw support from Ukraine, would be my understanding. Maybe, or maybe they'd have so many advices that would never happen. It sounded like
you guys
people
is
would
too early to tell.
Ukraine, and that wouldn't happen. We would continue to support them.
So is there a line in the
Democrat
Republican
was
Party that's just not popular? Because
supported
I've heard that some of them are like, you know what, Democratic Party is not doing enough. We actually would do even more
Who
for Ukraine,
knows?
and that's kind of like they're getting points there.
Who said that?
I don't remember specifically. I've heard that when the war started and the Biden administration was kind of slow. I'm not super well versed in American politics, but that's what been spread around in Telegram channels and stuff. That some Republicans were saying that some Republicans did visit Ukraine recently to kind of, you know, give like some promises, or I don't know what they were discussing. But is there no such sentiment in the Republican Party?
I mean, it's kind of divided right now between the populists and the establishment. The populists probably don't want to support Ukraine as much. The establishment probably would, but it's hard to say who's going to win the next election. So I don't know. Yeah.
Isn't correct me if I'm wrong, but isn't the popular opinion in America that Ukraine should be supported? Shouldn't be they doubling down on that?
I think popular opinion is supported, but I think right now the majority of Americans think we need to send less aid. I think is what the polling data is.
Yeah, it's like
Because like
40% or
isolationism and
something.
stuff, like
Or
protecting
just
the
because
border.
people just hear numbers, they think they're big, and like maybe it's enough. They stop caring, but yeah.
So some of the people in my chat were saying
It's
that,
almost
if I understand this correctly, it's a complete bullshit. But
Maybe
they were
I'm
saying that
being- I'm
illegal
wrong.
immigrants in America were voting and stuff. That's not possible, right?
Yeah, there's no evidence that that's happening.
So it's just
I
been
think
spread by like
60
Tucker Carlson and people like that.
yeah,
Yeah, people always say maybe it's
Republicans.
happening, but there's never been any evidence to show that it's happening.
Did you hear that he's going to have a conversation? He wants to have a conversation with Putin, this guy, Tucker Carlson.
Wouldn't surprise me.
Do you think it's going to happen?
I don't know. Good question. Maybe. I'm not sure. Now that he's like fully independent, I guess he could if Putin wanted to, but yeah.
I have this, maybe, I don't know, I'm interested in your opinion on this. So you're like pro free speech, right?
Yeah, generally, yeah.
Do you think that people like Tucker Carlson and like maybe Alex Jones should be prohibited from having a platform? Not by like government. Like, can't they? I don't know how your system works, but can't they like forbid them to speak publicly?
Yeah,
No, I
it's
think that,
about
I mean, you should have the right to speak. People should speak. You should be able to have your opinion aired and voiced, and yeah, it's how our democracy works.
pay to
Do you agree with that
space.
completely? Because you said recently something on stream that it's like you don't even know if people like the amount of like misinformation and just dumb shit that they're saying is just so bad that maybe they shouldn't have the ability to speak like that.
No, I mean, it sucks and it's annoying, but I mean, that's just part of
Should
living in a
have
democracy.
ideas,
A lot of people want to
I
say
mean-
stupid things that are probably bad and can be harmful, but I mean, that's part of like freedom of speech, right?
Well,
just outline
yeah, but in
them.
Europe, for example, in some countries, speech is to some extent policed. In Ukraine, obviously, right now, if you're like pro-Russian, you're gonna get completely. That's what happened to that Coach Red Pill guy, which I also considered reporting to the SBU. I think that's like fair to protect your national interest. I think that Russia and maybe some other like countries like Iran and China are exploiting this like thing that you guys have, and you know.
I mean, I don't like the way
Tucker-
that freedom of speech works in like Europe and shit. So I mean, I'm okay. They can run their things that way, but I like them. I think we enjoy greater freedoms over here. Like in Europe, people get like jailed for like, well, not jailed, but fined for like Nazi salutes or like calling people racial slurs on Twitter. I think that's a little too far.
UK.
I would agree with you there, but isn't there like a isn't there?
Yes, I
So, like,
mean,
for example, is there a difference
YouTuber
between
doing the
Nick Fuentes
Nazi salute
doing
on
that, or
top.
some random guy doing that?
Is there I mean, yeah, there's a difference. What do you mean? Nick's got a bigger platform. He's a different person. He's what do you mean?
Right. So would you think it would be fair if there would be some kind of legislation or law or whatever the fuck it's called, where if you're big enough and you're like fucking brain dead and you're spreading harmful shit, should you get like fined and stuff?
No, because I mean, like, who decides what we fine people for? Do I want like Donald Trump?
Isn't that what technically happened to Alex Jones?
No, he didn't get fined. He got sued for, I think, for defamation, right?
You think that was? I think that was a good thing. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they
committed a crime.
Yeah.
Do you think the government should be able to like sue and say, hey, what you're doing is harmful to people in the country, and maybe?
No, that's
like,
part of our freedom of speech. Sometimes you can say things that might be harmful or cause harm, but that's part of the freedom of speech that we have in the United States.
So you're saying that the harm that is produced by freedom of speech is being outweighed by the good?
Yeah, that's part of the deal. That's part of the yeah.
Don't you think it's like kind of? I feel like you're a pretty reasonable guy in a sense that you're trying to look at things from different perspectives and see what's the best solution. Isn't this kind of like going full on free speech as opposite of like Russia where there's no free speech? I think both things are bad. Can't we find something in the middle, or do you think it's impossible?
No, I like where we're at right now. I like this. I don't think I would want like crackdowns on freedom of speech right now. I think it's in a good spot right now. Yeah.
Okay. All right. If I may shout myself out, I also stream on Kick.
Yeah, go for it.
I stream about Ukraine and war and stuff that's going on. Ukrainian perspective. Live in Ukraine currently, so check out me at kick.com/TOESEN Thompson. So yeah, I'd appreciate it. Thanks for the convo, man.
Yeah,
enjoyed it.
Have fun. Be careful.
Had a good one.
This is really. Is it going to be like 40 minutes of softball? Questions? Is that it, or benchmark raising at Tucker for this interview?
And with COVID, they use COVID to cheat in a lot of different things. And
the nature of this particular interview was just Tucker not asking him anything remotely difficult. The most difficult question that he asked Trump was whether Epstein killed himself, to which Trump said, yeah, probably. Trump's surrogates were complaining that they were blocked from the spin room, which they should be blocked from the spin room. If your candidate doesn't show up for the debate, you don't get to go to the spin room and then jabber about the other candidates. It's kind of ridiculous. But here was Don Jr. complaining about it last night.
Right now, trying to ban people from actually having discourse about politics.
How un-American.
Probably shouldn't surprise any of us, but that's what it is. I've been told by others that I would be able to go in. So they said we weren't able to go in, then they said they were in.
Told by others? What does that mean? These guys are actually crying that they weren't allowed to do interviews after the debate when they didn't show up for the debate? How fucking stupid can you be? Am I missing something?
That we're here, and the candidate that said you can't go in the spin room. They're telling me right now.
That's what the American people should know. This is the kind of
they're telling him he works for security here, but they're telling him that I'm not allowed to go in there because the candidates that.
Well, if your dad showed up to the debate, you can go. I don't understand.
For the last 2 years?
Okay, no, I'm sorry. This is silliness. This is silliness. If your candidate doesn't show up to the debate, you don't get to put your person in the spin room. I mean, that seems like fairly fair on every level. Especially because Trump was getting plenty of attention of his own. He did an interview with Tucker Carlson on Twitter, X. And Trump, had it easy. Tucker asked him 0 hard questions. Tucker did not press him on pretty much anything. It wasn't a serious interview. I mean, I've seen Tucker do serious interviews where he asked hard questions of people. This was clearly not that interview. It doesn't mean that Trump wasn't funny.
When Daily Wire pivots, when Trump gets a nomination, I hope their smooth brain subscribers ditch them. Well, I think the Daily Wire probably consider themselves fans of the Republican Party. They want what's good for the Republican establishment. And running Trump again is probably just a really bad idea. Like, the idea of running a president again against the same president that he lost to already is just a phenomenally bad idea, and it's just so scary. And if Trump won, he doesn't have his incumbent advantage. Like, they're gonna have to run again afterwards because he's only one-term president. He's already had one term. Like, it's just, there's so many reasons why, like, running Trump is just such a bad idea. And, yeah, I don't know.
he walks, he can't lift his feet out of the grass. It's only 2 inches at the White House, right? It's not a lot. But you watch him, and it looks like he's walking on toothpicks. And then you see him on the beach where he can't lift a chair. Those chairs are meant to be light, right? They're like 2 ounces. You lift them up. He can't lift the chair. He can't walk to the chair. And I don't know what they're doing with the beach. This beach is seeming to play a big role, but they love pictures of him on the beach. I think it looks terrible on the beach.
guy. Clicking out.
Inimitable. I mean, like that's it. I mean, you can't imitate it, but you can't duplicate it, man. How soft were the softballs that Tucker was throwing to Donald Trump? He asked Donald Trump to rip on Mike Pence by suggesting that Donald Trump had always been very nice to Mike Pence. This question is so bizarre. I don't even know what to say about this.
You've always been nice to Pence. I've never heard you criticize Pence. You've defended him in public many, many times. He's out there attacking you. What is that?
What? So Mike wants to run for president. You got to understand. In my opinion, Mike
Okay.
Pence had the absolute right to send the votes back to the legislatures. The Democrats and everybody said, you don't have the right. In other words, what I said.
It is so wild that Trump still maintains this, that he could ask his vice president of the United States to reject the vote. This is such a wild line of thinking. Oh my God.
Is he a human conveyor belt? You mean if he finds fraud in Pennsylvania, in Georgia, in any of these states?
I don't care about Trump's answer. It's Tucker's question that's absurd. You've always been nice to Mike Pence. The actual what?
Whoa.
What?
Isn't it against his religion?
Yep, what? Oh no.
Okay, for those who have a memory of a goldfish, let me remind you of a time when Donald Trump suggested, nay, said outright, that Mike Pence had the unilateral capacity to overthrow an American election, essentially called him a coward, suggested that he would be forced to do so, and then when Mike Pence called him from the Capitol building on January 6th, because the Capitol building was under assault, he basically did nothing. You were always very nice to Mike Pence is one of the craziest Orwellian statements I've ever heard. You were always very nice to Mike Pence is an insane statement. That's like truly, that's a crazy question.
Why do you think he uses a clip on Mike and this microphone here? Which one are we hearing him speaking to?
For Trump, that's all.
It sounds like a high quality mic, but is it usually these little dots are on the front of the mic? Is it backwards? There's no way they'd have it flipped up. I wonder if he uses this one to talk to his crew. It's for fashion. Cosmetic mic. Ben's audience, as much as they're trying to be establishment Republicans, not siding with Trump blindly, I feel like a lot of his audience is probably still going to be squarely in the pro-Trump camp. I think most of these comments seem to be pretty pro-Trump, so.
Why do so few people trust Klaus Schwab and World Economic Forum? Like, why is it that they're in every single conversation of people? These guys want to control you. They want to make decisions for you. They want you to...
Oh, thank God. A 20-minute video where we're finally going to see some bad shit that Klaus Schwab has done. Certainly, it's not just going to be him randomly connecting dots from disjointed sentences from speeches throughout a decade or two, right? Finally, we're going to see what the World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab have been up to. Thank God, I've been wanting to do this for so long. I'm so hype.
Eat insects? There's no way they said you got to eat insects. They wouldn't say such a thing. They would never say you shouldn't eat meat or, you know, U.S. will no longer be a superpower. Why would they say such a thing? U.S. pays into World Economic Forum. So we decided to investigate it.
How much does U.S. pay to World Economic? I thought World Economic Forum was like a big conference where all like the world people go and jerk themselves off over how cool they are and all their ideas for the future. Like it's basically like a conference for... It's an international, non-governmental, and lobbying organization for multinational companies based in Coligny, Canton of Geneva, Switzerland. Okay, two of these are fake places. Okay, dude. The foundation, which is mostly funded by its 1,000 member companies, typically global enterprises with more than US $5 billion in turnover, as well as public subsidies. Typically global enterprises with, I don't know what the this means, but okay. Views its own mission as improving the state of the world by engaging business, political, academic, annual meeting in Davos, mountain resort in the Alps. Anyways, gives 50,000 paying members, among whom are investors, blah, 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 aside from Davos. I'm just curious how much the United States actually pays. Cost to be paid by companies for a delegate to the World Economic Forum were $70,000 and $120,000. Oh my God, we should fundraise and pay money to have a Destiny.GG LLC delegate in the World Economic Forum. Holy shit! Since 2013, the World Economic Forum received $60 million from U.S. taxpayers. What does that mean? So just like U.S. citizens that buy tickets? Oh, it's mostly the State Department's U.S. aid. Taxpayers paid $60 million for the WF Grow Africa program, which was all right, makes sense.
And Klaus Schwab is actually a modern-day Nostradamus. He knows how to predict crisis from happening. He's got that kind of gift. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about how much money they've raised, their expenses on an annual basis. You'll see who was invited to be a young global leader. 3 names. Wait till you see what Tulsi, Musk, and Vivek said to World Economic Forum. We'll cover that as well, and a bunch of other things. Having said that, stay tuned. We're going to study World Economic Forum and Klaus Schwab in this episode. Okay. So give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you get value out of this video. Let's get right into it. So Klaus Schwab founded World Economic Forum in 1971 as a not-for-profit foundation. It is headquartered in Geneva, Switzerland. It was originally called the European Management Forum, and initially his focus was in the meetings on how European firms could catch up with the U.S. management practices. This is their mission statement. Engage business, political, academic, and other leaders of society to shape global, regional, and industry agendas. Okay. Mission is committed to improve the state of the world. So far, sounds pretty good. They made a prediction on what they think is going to happen in 2038 of them, which I think it's important for you to know. Here's some of the predictions. Number 1, you'll own nothing and you'll be happy. By the way, this is from their website. This is a video they produced. Number 2, the U.S. won't be the world's leading superpower. Instead,
Why not just like actually look at the... I've read this stupid article. Or it's not even a dumb article. It was like an essay on like potential futures of the world. Why not like actually just read the essay? Somebody link me this. Hold on.
No,
Welcome to year 2030. Welcome to my city, or should I say our city? I don't know anything. I don't own a car. I don't own a house. I don't own any appliances or any clothes. It might seem odd to you, but it makes perfect sense for us in this city. Everything you consider a product has now become a service. So we have access to transportation, accommodation, food, and all the things we need in our daily lives. One by one, all these things became free, so it ended up not making sense for us to own much. First, communication became digitized and free to everyone. Then, when clean energy became free, things started to move quickly. Transportation dropped dramatically in price. It made no sense for us to own cars anymore because we could call a driverless vehicle or a flying car for longer journeys within minutes. We started transporting ourselves in a much more organized and coordinated way when public transport became easier, quicker, and more convenient than the car. Now I can hardly believe that we accepted congestion and traffic jams, not to mention air pollution from combustion engine. What were we thinking? Sometimes I use my bike when I go to see some of my friends. I enjoy the exercise and the ride. Kind of gets the soul to come along in the journey. Funny how some things seem never to lose their excitement. Walking, biking, cooking, drawing, and growing plants. It makes perfect sense. It reminds us of how our culture emerged out of a close relationship with nature. In our city, we don't pay any rent because someone else is using our free space whenever we do not need it. My living room is used for business meetings when I'm not there. Once in a while, I will choose to cook myself. It is easy. The necessary kitchen equipment is delivered to my door within minutes. Since transport became free, we stopped having all those things stuffed in our home. Why keep a pasta maker and a crepe cooker crammed in our cupboards? We just order them when we need them. This also made the breakthrough of the circular economy easier. When products are turned into services, no one has an interest in things with a short lifespan. Everything's designed for durability, repairability, and recyclability. Materials are flowing more quickly in our economy and can be transformed to new products pretty easily. Environmental problems seem far away since we only use clean energy and clean production methods. The air is clean, the water is clean, and nobody would dare to touch the protected areas of nature because they constitute such value to our well-being. In the cities, we have plenty of blah, 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 shopping, different kinds of lives outside the city. Okay, this basically some guy like wrote an essay. Was this like 5 or 7 years ago? 2016. Somebody wrote an essay about like a hypothetical future about like, oh, once we're basically reached like a post-scarcity society with like infinite free energy, like what would it look like basically? People keep presenting this, like, oh, they want to take everything. No, this isn't even like the World Economic trying to do something. It was literally just an essay submitted to the WF for a guy that had like a take. Like there's tons of essays that people submit for like, oh, what could the future look like? Like it's so stupid. Like this is like some random, it's like some random fucking Danish politician. Like nobody gives a it's not Bill Gates. Even if it was Bill Gates, like who the cares? Like I don't know. It's so stupid.
Handful of countries.
I'm not going to look up every single quote, but my guess is going to be that every single one of these quotes has probably some like greater context. It's not like the WF is trying to destroy the U.S. or destroy owning shit. It's just like it's just stupid quotes, but okay.
Number 3, you won't die waiting for an organ donor. Instead, we won't transplant organs. We'll print new ones. Very interesting. Number 4, you'll eat much less meat. If you like meat, you're kind of screwed here. Number 5, 1 billion people will be displaced by climate change. We'll have to do a better job at welcoming and integrating refugees. Sounds very noble, but who knows what that means? If the world's only going to be ran by 5 countries, there's not a superpower. So can they just choose to say this 10 million will be moving to your...
Okay, hold on.
Sounds like climate change. We'll have to do a better job at welcoming and integrating refugees. Sounds very noble, but who knows what that means?
Why not go and look at what they mean? We'll have to do a better job integrating refugees, WEF. Oh, they didn't even... Oh, they're just ripping this from this stupid fucking video. Oh. Okay.
Okay.
World Economic Forum is a blueprint of fascism. Jesus. Okay, well...
By welcoming and integrating refugees sounds very noble, but who knows what that means? If the world's only going to be ran by 5 countries, there's not a superpower. So can they just choose to say this 10 million will be moving to your state? This 8 million is going here. They get to choose that if that's what integration means. Number 6, polluters will have to pay to emit carbon dioxide. There will be a global price on carbon. This will help make fossil fuels history. Number 7, you could be preparing to go to Mars. Oh my God, can you imagine how they're trying to sell the people around the world? Scientists will have worked out how to keep you healthy in space. Science will work out how to keep you healthy in space. The start of a journey to find alien life. Number 8, Western values will have been tested to the breaking point. Checks and balances that underpin our democracies must not be forgotten. How do you feel right now? Are you like watching this and there's no way this is true? Let me go Google this myself. Go ahead and do it. Pause the video, check it for yourself, and then come back and you'll see this is what they're telling you. If they're selling you a dream, man, this is awesome. I can't wait to live this life. Well, then follow whatever they're telling you. But if this is a nightmare type of a situation coming from their mouth to you, you may want to investigate these guys before we see them as experts and honorable leaders. We subscribe to whatever they tell us to do. Now, here's their objectives. I want to read to you from their website. Stay tuned. Let me just read it to you. It's not going to sound real, but let me read it to you. So look, I've been in the financial industry since 9/11, the day before 9/11, and I've owned stocks, bonds, mutual funds, real estate, crypto, gold, you name it, I've owned it. But the one thing that's very important part of my portfolio all these years is gold. I love having a percentage of my net worth in gold that I have access to in case of any demand. Now is the time to call American Hartford Gold, a precious metal dealer you can trust. They have the finest products, amazing customer service, and a buyback commitment. They've earned a 5-star rating from thousands of reviews and an A+ from the Better Business Bureau. Tell them I sent you, and they'll send you up to $5,000 worth of free silver on your first order. So click on the link in the description or call 866-939-6984. Again, 866-939-6984. Globalism, net zero, reimagining capitalism. This is being said by people who have never ran a business before. Klaus Schwab, he's not a businessman. He pays himself $1 million a year, but he's not a businessman. He's hurting small businesses like you and I who run businesses. He's not a fan of you. He wants to control you because he thinks he knows what's best for you. Slowing population.
Did we actually get to how he was doing that? He's a German engineer, economist, and founder of the World Economic Forum. He's a very German organization, 1971.
Growth. They're not saying depopulation. It's more like saying slowing population growth. It's a little bit more gentle. And you've all heard...
Well, because population growth has been slowing since the boomers and industrialization. Oh my God.
See how many different industries, massive companies, multi-billion-dollar behemoth companies are members
coming
together. That's the whole purpose of this. It's a globalism to control what the smaller people don't get to do. They make decisions that's best for you. Not what you think of, right? Makes you want to be a little skeptical. Let's go what are some of the initiatives?
We haven't gone deep at all yet.
It's kind of interesting. Remember earlier I said Nostradamus? Check this out. The Great Reset. You want to know what book Klaus Schwab wrote and when? Here's a question for you. I'm right now about to launch my business book that's going to come out here soon called Choose Your Enemies Wisely. Do you know how long we've been working on this book? A little over 2 years. How long do you think it takes to write your book, publish it, release it to people? Even if you're fast, what would you say? A year? 18 months? Maybe you're super fast, it's what? 6 months. Watch the book this guy wrote. The book's title is COVID-19, The Great Reset, written by Klaus Schwab. Ready for the release date? July 2020. Do you know when COVID shut down America and it was a mess, NHL, NBA, all that stuff? Mid-March. You either wrote the book, published the book, drafted the book, printed the book in 3-4 months, or you kind of timed it very well. How did you know?
Oh my God, dude. I wish I could get on this show again.
Am I the only crazy one? Are you kind of processing that as well? So when people say the timing's a little off, you got to give those people a little bit of credibility for questioning the timing. I would love to meet Klaus Schwab and do an interview with them. Ask these respectful questions that many others have for someone like Klaus. And number 4 is Young Global Leaders Program, which he launched in 2004. It seeks to identify and nurture the next generation of leaders, recognizes individuals under 40 for their professional accomplishments, commitment to society, and potential to contribute to shaping the future. 1,400 members, alumni of 120 nationalities, includes civic and business innovators, entrepreneurs, technology pioneers, educators, activists, artists, journalists, and many more. This list includes, and I'm going to read some more names.
Oh boy, another list of names.
One, Trudeau's another one, Merkel, Macron, Newsom, Yarden, and many others. And by the way, they divided by different industries. Let me read you some other names that you may know. Pete Buttigieg, Chelsea Clinton. I know her husband is a friend. Okay, a friendly podcast guest we've had before. Nikki Haley, Adam Kinzinger, Jonathan Soros, son of George Soros, Lawrence Summers,
George
Paul
Soros,
Krugman,
contrary to many of the elite members of the top talkers in this country,
Sanjay Gupta,
is not a
Andrew
vampire.
Ross Sorkin,
He sold
Thomas
his
Friedman,
violence.
George
All
Stephanopoulos,
regiments ready
Lachlan
to
Murdoch,
elections. This one should
Maria
be injecting
Bartiromo.
adrenochrome.
Now here's for technology and social media. Bill Gates, Steve Ballmer, Bezos, Sergey Brin and Larry Page, Eric Schmidt, Peter Thiel, Mark Zuckerberg, Sheryl Sandberg. From Great Britain, Tony Blair, Niall Ferguson, Charles Allen. Remember how I told you Tulsi, Musk, and Vivek? All three were nominated, but they said, not interested. We're okay. You don't need to recognize us. Thank you, but thank you. So again, you pick and choose. You may be watching the same. I want to get nominated for this. Great, you can go get nominated for this guy. But you may say, I don't really want to get nominated. Well, here's what some people who said good things about him said, and here's what some people said bad things about World Economic Forum. Let me read both of them to you.
What are we supposed to learn from this? Like, even in theory, what is it supposed to achieve?
Atmospheric rip.
It's basically like the goal is like, can I find something with a bunch of names and like sentences that seem spooky, and then can I link it all together and use it to sell you my particular conspiracy theory? This is a trash video. There's literally no value in watching this. But I mean, there's no value for an intelligent person watching this. But like for people that are in the Matrix or whatever, the conspiracy driven or whatever, having like all the names and everything like seems really compelling. But I still think that the like the number one way to the thing when I talk to people like this is like what I would say is like, okay, give me like a smoking gun. Like tell me something bad that's happened. Like show me an actual bad thing. Why are we like what's happening? What's the bad part here? But they never actually have that. It's just like grand conspiratorial stuff.